Imagine those times when everything feels lost. Hope seems far away. I remember a moment in my life when I felt utterly defeated, sitting alone in my room after a series of setbacks, wondering how I would ever find my way forward. We've all faced moments when life's challenges leave us overwhelmed and discouraged. But what if there's a promise of renewal? A grace that brings restoration. Welcome back to Abounding in Grace. I'm really glad you're here. Today, I want to talk about a kind of grace that does more than just cover things up. It restores. Sometimes life leaves us feeling bruised, exhausted, or even spiritually empty. And if we're honest, it's not always just life itself. Sometimes it's our own choices. Other times, it's the weight of disappointment or the heaviness of shame. Or it's the pressure of trying to keep everything together when we're barely holding on to ourselves. In those moments, God doesn't just give us another chance. He offers restoration that rebuilds what was broken and renews what was lost. Grace doesn't always arrive with a loud entrance. Grace often enters quietly, sitting with you in your lowest moments, meeting you right where you've fallen, and quietly whispers, "You're not finished. There's still more for you." Maybe you've looked at your life and wondered, how did I get here? Maybe you feel like you've made too many mistakes. Maybe you feel like you've drifted too far. Maybe you're carrying mistakes you've never spoken about. But restoration isn't about being perfect. It's about God's faithfulness. Grace doesn't blame you. Grace doesn't remind you of what you should have done. Grace doesn't keep replaying your failures. Grace doesn't ask, "How did you get here?" Grace says, "Let me walk you out." That's the beauty of God's restoring hand. He doesn't just lift you up, He realigns you. He doesn't just clean the surface, He rebuilds the foundation. He doesn't just help you recover, He makes you whole again. Sometimes restoration happens slowly, like rehabilitating a storm-damaged house, one plank at a time. Each step forward, no matter how small, is significant. Restoration often unfolds over time. It begins with simple, honest prayers, followed by small steps forward, and moments when you choose to surrender. Each stage is a part of the larger process of regaining what's been lost. Sometimes restoration can also happen all at once, unexpectedly. This process can look like spending time in God's presence, hearing a word that touches your heart, or gaining a new understanding that releases burdens you've been carrying. Each moment brings you closer to being fully restored. But no matter how it happens, restoration is God's promise to His children. So today, I want to remind you, nothing, not your past, not your failures, not your brokenness, not your doubts, nothing disqualifies you from God's restoring power. Your story isn't over. Your calling isn't canceled. Your identity isn't lost. Your purpose hasn't expired. There's no pit too deep, no wound too painful, and no mistake too heavy for the restoring grace of God. Where grace shows up, broken things are rebuilt. You can feel hope rising softly, like the gentle hum of a new dawn. As strength returns, it runs deep, settling in your bones, warming your spirit. Wounded hearts are healed, each beat resonating with renewed purpose. Lost sons and daughters taste the sweetness of coming home. If you need restoration, then that's what God wants for you. He doesn't restore just a little bit. He restores fully and beautifully with purpose. He restores fully. He restores beautifully. And He restores with purpose. Let this episode remind you, God restores. And when He restores everything the enemy tried to take from you. You may not see the full picture yet, but grace is already working. God is already rebuilding, and your better days aren't behind you. They're being prepared for you right now. If this message encouraged you or reminded you of who you really are, I invite you to take action today. Think about a part of your life where you've experienced restoration and write it down or share it with someone you trust. Then share this episode with at least one person who might need encouragement or is facing a tough time. Your story could be the spark that leads to someone else's restoration. We're building something special here, a place where grace speaks, heals, and transforms. Thank you for tuning in. This is Abounding in Grace with GrayLart. The journey is just beginning.